Well, friends, today is Saturday, August 2nd, 2025. This is the last day this week we're going to talk about the eighth commandment about theft. And we're going to turn things around a little bit today, as has been our want throughout the series. You shall not steal, Exodus 20:15. I want to pair it today with Hebrews 13:16. Do not neglect to do good and to share what you have. Such sacrifices are pleasing to God. The commandments are wonderful in that there's a protective aspect to them. And I used the example last Sunday of, you're a racer in the Tour de France and you break away from the peloton and you know that you've only got 10 kilometers to get to the podium, and suddenly there's a big stop sign in the middle of the road. Arrêtez in French. The road, you must stop, and the road is closed. Tour fermé. Tour fermé. And this means that your race is ended and you're frustrated. This is the way we sometimes feel with the commandments, that they're going to restrict our freedoms and our actions, and they're kind of a restraint that's uncomfortable. But then you hear on your radio from your team leader in the van that always follows these racers, that it's very fortunate that the sign was there, because there's an avalanche just around the bend, and if you'd gone around at 45 kilometers an hour, you might have been killed. And so actually the commandment preserved your life rather than restricting your life, and you have opportunities to ride and to compete and to do other things because you obeyed the commandment. So the commandments channel our energies away from bad uses toward good uses. So if we can give up the idea of theft, now we can think more clearly and have energy and resources to do the opposite, which is generosity. So this is where we start to become salt and light in a much more dramatic way. In a greedy world, a competitive world, where there's a lot of people, fighting for their share all the time, we can be a countercultural element to that. Sharing generosity and empowerment. We can use our expertise and our knowledge to bless others, to help their lives expand, their economic possibilities and their personal possibilities expand. We can share our skills, help others toward success. We can also share our money or our property. And this role we have as stewards to bless people and to bless our communities is a very, very powerful and amazing thing. And it frees us from a certain kind of possession. There's a way in which we can be possessed by our possessions. And this, in the long run, is not good, because we come into the world with nothing and we leave the world with nothing. And therefore, spending too much of our time and energy worried about our possessions, that's a burden and not a freedom. Generosity kind of loosens the hold we have in our possessions, so we're not so bound up, and we become people who rejoice in the success of others. Let's take a moment and pray. Lord, help us to hold our possessions lightly as opportunities to help and not trophies to keep and defend. Let us be blessed in order to become blessings. Amen. Thanks for being with us this week.